Welcome to the Second Impression podcast. I'm your host, R.A.P, aka Rhythm and Poetry. Today's guest is an artist that goes by the name Nameless705.
Hey, how's it going?
There you go. I've heard that cheering so many times, and I just noticed that there's a guy at the ending of the cheer and it's going,
Yeah.
hey!
Yeah, I heard that.
I never noticed that till now, but it's awesome to have you on the show, man. First things first, introduce yourself to the listeners and let them know where they could find you.
All right, so my name is Nameless705. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and it's just Nameless705.
Dope. All one word?
Yeah, one word. I had to put
Awesome.
the 705 because there's like a million artists named Nameless, and I wanted to keep it, so.
Yeah, the game is extremely oversaturated with a lot of. It's hard to get a unique name sometimes because there's so many friggin' people that all think their
Yeah,
name's
well,
unique. But we all have
yeah,
like
well,
similar mindsets.
yeah, I thought I was unique, and then I went to go put it as my Spotify thing, and it was like, nope, and I was like, oh, come on.
Well, that actually brings me to the first question. How did you choose the name Nameless705?
Well, it just people in high school, like I just put out my second song ever. I've been a closet rapper, as Gen X would call it. I've been making music forever, and so people would always ask me like, "Hey, what's your rapper name?" But I never even for the longest time didn't even was like a rapper. I just make music for the therapy, the piece of it, and people kept asking me what my name was, and I didn't have a name, and so I just came up. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be nameless.
There you go. And then, of course, ending the 705 afterwards with it.
Well, I don't know why I've always thrown 705 into the beginning of all my raps. I just from the 705. I know it's a huge area, but I've always it's just been like, and people say yo yo, I say 705.
What's crazy too is also being from the 705, I kind of like grew up in Sudbury, and I never realized how much it actually expanded all over the place.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's huge. I'm originally from Sudbury. I'm in Sault Ste. Marie now, so I'm a little bit of ways from home, but
Nice, I feel you. I'm located in Toronto right now, but that was even like fascinating for me when I moved here at first, and I still had people from Barrie repping 705 and stuff. I was like, that's
yeah. Well, and that's the cool part about the 705 also is that it's not like it's just some, a little part. It's like it's a huge part. So a lot of people hear 705 maybe to catch them. They're like, "Hey, I'm from there."
yeah, definitely broadens your audience a little bit more. So I'll get to question number two. What can people expect while listening to your music?
Well, I try to it's just I get it's all a story, I guess. So it's, it could be anything from a way to release your day. You had a shitty day, you put, something on and maybe you can relate to it, make you feel a little bit better. I hope people just vibe to it, want to, hang out, make something, I like to make something where it's like, I want people to feel it. I want people to be able to understand it. And so most of it, I try to keep as real as possible, but you know how, freestyles go. Sometimes things pop out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have definitely had some stuff come out of a freestyle that people shit on me for, but I definitely
Yeah.
feel your wanting to connect with people and stuff, putting out stuff to have people feel that connection, whether you're talking to them or not. They could just put on your music and you already have that connection, like boom, just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So question number three is, who is your inspiration while making music?
My inspiration, I know it sounds like it's everybody's inspiration, but like it was Eminem 100%. Like from like the time I was like, I don't know, 8 years old, I'd listen to D12, Eminem, like just about everything. And it just made me get so into it. I listened to country until I was probably about 9 years old. I didn't even know rap was a thing. And, and then I met someone at school and they were playing music and I just got absolutely hooked on it. And Eminem was just my biggest inspiration. But I mean, it's he's just, I don't know, he's always had that drive, that in your face, that realness. I just love it.
Honestly, a lot of people say the same thing where they think it's kind of corny, but like I just feel like they made a stigma that if you're a white rapper, then it has to be corny to like Eminem, you know. But as like a hip hop enthusiast, like he changed the game so much around the time when like we were growing up and shit like that, right? So like I
Yeah,
mean, it's no issue to have like inspiration from Eminem, even producers and stuff. I know because Eminem has a lot of producing credits people don't even know about, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And even that, like, just he's such a workhorse, and he took the genre and just changed it, like changed the how do you say, the, I guess, the narrative of like parental advisory and being in people's faces and shit like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Like, and I ate it up as a kid, and I was like, that's I want to do that, and so I just did it alone forever. And then Gen X was actually the one that was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, you've been doing this for so long, and I've never done anything with it. So he got my wheel rolling, and
Nice.
now
So
we're just
I'm glad he did, man. I'm glad he did for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, me too.
So I'll ask question number 4 now. If you could pick one track of yours, released or unreleased, that means the most to you, which one would it be and why?
Well, probably a track I have. It's called "Who Am I." It is unreleased,
Okay.
but it was like just the most. I don't know. When I did it, it started off as just I was playing beat and just freestyling, but it came out as it was like it felt like a introduction. Like it was, this is me. Hopefully I'll have to send it to you sometime for review. But it was just like I don't know. It gave me I felt expression on it differently than it wasn't like it didn't feel battle rappy. It was just the vibe of the beat was it just felt like me, and it was like I just talked about who I am and what people may see and how it doesn't matter as long as I'm me at the end of the day, kind of thing.
Nice. So it was like kind of more of an opening track and like more of an introduction to Nameless, you know?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. It was like, and it was funny because it's on. I use an app that I use to record it, and it's actually in the list, and it's like one of my. I think it was the first or second one I ever did, so it just kind of worked out. I was like, I made a joke. I was like, that's gonna be my intro.
Awesome. So move on to the next question. If you could have a song of yours on any soundtrack of any old school movie, which one would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'd have to say it'd be pretty dope to have like on a movie that like has already existed. Like if I could just put it
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
I would have to say Fast and Furious, the first one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just the car scene and everything. It's just dope. It's inspirational in itself, and to have my track playing in the background while they're all pulling into a lot with a bunch of tuners or muscle cars and shit, I think that'd be sick.
That would be pretty sick, yeah. Cool, man. So I'll get to the last question in the interview. What's your plan for your future music right now?
Well, I mean, honestly, if I can make music and it relieves me of my daily stresses, and if it relieves others of their daily stresses, I mean, that's more than enough for me. But if I can make, if I can make some fans or $1 off of it, I mean, that would, blow my mind and mean the world to me. But as far as it goes right now, it's just I got my second song out, so I'm gonna keep rolling the ball and putting them out, see where it goes. And I don't think I really have an expectation on where I want it to go because I'm just comfortable, just doing it for the feel goods.
Yeah, more for the therapeutic side of things, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's always what it's been to me was kind of like, I can go punch a hole in the wall and hurt my hand for a week, or I could just throw on some raging beats and just have at it all by myself.
There ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Sometimes the best thing is making music for yourself. I know myself, for example, I have quite a few songs that I pumped out in the first 2 years of being on the scene and stuff. And I think I made 2 songs for my girlfriend. And I tried my hand at actually like singing a little bit more, like no filters, nothing, just giving her shit. And I actually had somebody message me back and told me like, "Hey man, I really like what you're doing, but you probably shouldn't sing." And I was like, "I really appreciate what you have to
Yeah,
say, but just know that song was for me and my girlfriend. I put it out for me and my girlfriend. Like I don't care if it had 1 listens or 5 views or 70 views or whatever. It was just so that I could get a message out to my girlfriend, type of thing, you know."
yeah, 100%. I actually got a couple of those songs where it's actually funny on that app that I have because like people who have the app can use it, so it's a very small selection of people that could possibly scroll past one of my songs, but I actually have my most liked song on that app is actually something that's like totally not even my style, and it was like kind of like a softer, just totally not my style song, and it actually blew up, and it was my biggest song on that app for like the longest time. I think it still is. It has like the most likes and comments, so it's it's neat to just try different stuff like that because you never know where it's gonna go. Like you said, you could have turned out to be the best singer in the world and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird too because like we subconsciously put ourselves in this like box kind of thing, where you're like, oh, I want to sound like this or I have to sound like this or something, and then you try something outside of your box or your comfort zone, and people love it, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I should have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like Whitey Ford. He went from like this crazy hip hop artist and House of Pain to singing the blues with his guitar, and he fucking killed it.
Yeah, true. All right, so that ends the interview segment or portion of our podcast. Now we're going to be moving on to Quiz the Wiz. For anybody joining who's never heard of this or never participated, basically before the show, we get 3 topics or 3 categories from our guests, and then we make a nice little quiz show with 9 questions, just to quiz them on their knowledge of random stuff. It has nothing. It could be something to do with music. Doesn't have to have anything to do with music. But yeah, now we're here. How do you feel about this, man?
Well, I've always came in last playing any trivial game, so we'll see where it goes.
All right. Well, you got to tailor pick the segment or the not the segment, the categories this time. So
Well, hopefully,
um
yeah, hopefully.
so we'll start with the first question, which is a question about classic cars. So what is the most commonly owned classic car in the world?
The most commonly classic car, it's probably I would it's probably a Cabero. I want to say it's either no. I'm gonna change that. It's a Corvette. It's got to be a Corvette.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Uh-oh.
Uh
No.
oh.
It's because they're all labeled the same. Some of my things, so sometimes I hit the, the wrong one.
Well, it worked. It worked.
It worked anyways. So that was incorrect. The most commonly owned classic car in the world would be, you didn't have to give me the year, but specifically would be the 1969 Dodge Charger.
Oh, you know what? That's like my dream car, and I was gonna say that, but I was like, no, I see vets everywhere. It's got to be a vet. I figured those were more rare.
No, it's is it the Dukes of Hazzard car?
Yeah, yeah. Dukes of Hazzard and Dom
The Duke.
Toretto's car, and
Yeah, so many Dodge Chargers, man.
yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the second question. So this goes to 90s movies. Who was the highest paid actor in the 90s? Was it A, Tom Hanks, B, Mel Gibson, or C, Tom Cruise?
Probably Tom Cruise.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. Oh.
That was incorrect. You had the first portion right, but just not the last name. So it was Tom Hanks that was actually the highest paid actor in the 1990s.
Oh, that's funny. I guess Castaway and all that. He was kind of blowing up then.
Yeah, Forrest Gump.
I was thinking that that jet movie. I can't think of the name of it.
Top Gun?
Yeah, Top Gun, but I'm thinking that's before the 90s probably.
Possibly, yeah. So yeah, we'll go on to question number 3. This is a hip hop slash rap question. So what hip hop artist has the most Grammy nominations of any artist in history? Is it A, Jay-Z, B, Eminem, or C, Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
You're getting these questions wrong, but your confidence is what's making it all worth it. It's all that matters. So the answer was Jay-Z. He actually has 83 nominations,
Holy, no
Grammy
way.
nominations in history.
Wow, that's crazy. I figured it's definitely the doc.
Oh man, Jay-Z's been putting in work. He's also, yeah, there was another question I did, I think it was on last episode, or the episode before that, but apparently I found out that Jay-Z is one of the only hip hop artists or rappers or whatever to achieve billionaire status.
No, no kidding.
Yeah, so he became a billionaire in 2019.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's without Beyonce's money. That's his own money.
Yeah, just his own money, and he's probably still sending that money from '88.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go on to question number four. This is back to classic cars. So, what classic car does Burt Reynolds drive in Smokey and the Bandit? Is it
It's
A?
Trent.
Oh, you could go ahead if you think you
Yo,
know
I
what it
want to
is.
hear the answers. I keep forgetting you're gonna give me the choices.
So it's A, Dodge Charger, 1969, a B, 1978 El Camino, or C, a 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am.
That's it. The third one.
Yeah, that would be correct. So he does drive a 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Can't forget the Trans Am.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll move on to question number five.
At least I
So
know I
this
got
is
one right now.
yeah. Actually, that one for you, I mashed up the movies and the classic cars kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it works. It works.
Cool. So yeah, we'll move on to question number five. This is back to '90s movies. What is the highest grossing movie of the 1990s? Is it A, Independence Day, B, Titanic, or C, Jurassic Park?
You know what? I was thinking Titanic when you asked the question. I think I'm gonna go with Titanic.
All right. We'll give you another correct answer, but I got you. I gave you
Woo!
time to get into there, man. I fucked that up so many times. I don't know why I can say it, but yes, it was Titanic. Actually, I believe was it Star Wars? The Phantom Menace was in second place, and that one had like 980 something $1,000 made, but Titanic had 1.8 million made. That's a lot
That's
for that
crazy.
time. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's a lot of money back then.
Cool. So we'll move on to question number six. This is back to hip hop and rap. So this is a true or false question. So it's a 50-50 shot here. LMFAO's Red Foo has a songwriting credit on Kendrick Lamar's track King Kunta. Is that true or false?
Ooh, I feel like this is a trick question. I'm gonna I'm gonna say true.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It is true.
Woohoo! Yeah, no, I knew that.
As it turns out, during the mid 1900s, sorry, during the mid 90s. I don't know why I
I was
keep
like,
messing this
whoa.
up, man. Yeah, he's old. Red Foo's been around, bro. He's like a vampire or something. No, so as it turns out, during the mid 90s, when Red Foo was making his way in the music industry, he scored his first major production credits for LA rapper Ahmad's self titled debut album, The Album, released on May 24th, 1994, via Grant Records and Reprise Records. Included the single Back in the Day, as well as the song We Want the Funk. We Want the Funk. So apparently, yeah, Red Foo was one of the writers on that song, and also on the production for We Want the Funk.
No,
And 2015, Kendrick and Terrence Martin sampled We Want the Funk for the song King Kunta, along with the songs by Johnny Burns, Michael Jackson, and James Brown, which is how Red Foo and Ahmad Lewis ended up as one of the songwriters credited for King Kunta.
oh, that's very cool.
So random.
Yeah, no kidding.
The guy makes a song in the 90s, and then one of the most popping artists at the time is like, yo, I'm gonna I'm gonna sample that.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Well, that's like the Stranger Things. There's a song in there that a girl's made a long time ago, and it didn't get that big back then. And now Stranger Things is out, and it's like one of the biggest songs right now. I can't think of the name of it though.
Yo, my girlfriend, I know what you're talking about. My girlfriend actually listens to that chick all the time, and then since that song came out, that apparently that artist has blown up more, even though that song came out years and years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it blew right up. Like,
That's crazy.
imagine that like 50 years
Awesome.
goes by and then you blow up.
And be like, bro, it's too late, man. I'm getting my
Yeah.
401k together. Like, what the hell? All right, so we'll move on to the next question. This is back to classic cars. So, how old does a car have to be before it's considered a classic? Is it A, older than 25 years, B, older than 30 years, or C, older than 15 years?
30.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. Oh.
Almost, almost. So the question was 25. They have this group, I forgot what they're called, the Antique Automotive Association of America or something like that, I think it is.
Okay.
I could have completely just butchered that. I just pulled that out of my ass. But that company essentially, they're very peculiar about what is considered a classic car and what's considered a antique car or vintage. So apparently 25
Okay.
years, between 20 and 25 years is the limit to consider a classic car.
No, that's that got me. I thought for sure it was 30. I originally thought it was 60, but you didn't give me that option, so I was like, well, I was wrong off the hop.
No, it's 25 for classic and 45 for antique cars.
No, that's crazy. I should have known that. My dad watches this; he's gonna be disappointed.
That's okay. We'll move on to question number 8. So this is back to 90s movies. So who was the most popular actress in the 1990s? Was it Julia Roberts, Jodie Foster, or Winona Ryder?
I want to say the first one,
Julia
Julie
Roberts?
Roberts. Yeah,
That's your final answer?
that's my final answer.
Man, you mentioned Stranger Things, so I thought you were possibly going to get this, but it's actually Winona Ryder that was the most popular actress in the 90s.
My wife's gonna be mad at me for that one.
Oh, man. Well, we're not trying to piss everybody off.
Yeah, I'm in trouble now.
That's okay. He got 3 questions right so far, so it's good. It's good.
That's better than I've ever done on any trivia game.
Well, we're here to set a record. We got 1 question left. This is a hip hop / rap question, and it's a true or false question again. So true or false? 50 Cent's "Many Men" was originally a Nas song,
I'm gonna say true.
and that's your final answer.
Yes.
Ring a ding ding! It is true.
Woohoo!
So yeah, apparently the beat for "Many Men" Nas was actually sitting on for quite a long time, and he was going to use it to introduce one of the artists that he was working for, but it didn't really work out at the time. And then when they were putting together 50 Cent's debut album, one of the, I guess, managers or 50 Cent's managers just straight up got the beat off of Nas because Nas didn't want to use it anymore. He kind of like fell out of love with the beat and never really finished his project.
And then created a gem out of it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually think I scrolled across something like that, reading that in Facebook somewhere, like in the last couple of weeks.
I honestly, I like, I know it's originally a Nas song, but I couldn't see that song turning out any other way than "Many Men" by 50 Cent. Like,
No, it's so perfect. The beat is just so grimy. It just fits 50 so good.
oh, 100%. Cool, man. So now we're going to tally up your score. How much did you think you got 1 out of 9?
4 out of 9.
4 out of 9? All right. Well, we'll give you a little drum roll. And you did, in fact, get 4 out of 9. Good job, man.
Woohoo!
Give you the golf claps.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Where's the guy?
Where's the guy? Oh.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Awesome. So we're going to take a break and listen to a track by our guest that hasn't been released yet. So this is "Judged by the Cover" by Nameless705. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
705.
You don't know nothing about the struggle. You don't know my hustles. You don't know my pain. You don't know what I've been through. So who the fuck are you?
Yeah. You don't know my logic, you don't understand my thoughts. You wanna judge me from perspective, but I know you not. You not reading the book, you just judge about a cover. Well, who the fuck are you to shut the shutters? Who are you to smother me with pain? Here we go again, down this fucking racetrack, racing with my car and I'm revving racks. Yeah, now I'm stacking stacks. If you looking back, see me in the Maybach. I was just a young kid, hustling, loving it every day. Cause you know that I'ma make the dream, it's all okay. If you think that I can fade away, forever to stay, forever to play up in this game. You know that it's illmatic, I'm at it, I can't stand the static. But you know that get it? You don't know my hustle, you don't know my pain. You can't judge a cover, you don't know a thing. I've been in this game, yeah, I'm going hard, aiming for the stars, we gon' go far. You don't know my hustle, you don't know my pain. You can't judge a cover, you don't know a thing. I've been in this game, yeah, I'm going hard, aiming for the stars, cause we going far. Who the fuck are you to judge me? You may not love me, but you ain't gotta try to shove me. Cause you know that I've been playing in this game, going so insane when I put the fire next to flame. Cause I know that I go explode. I'm walking down the road, tell me to leave it alone, but I just won't, homie. If you think I'm at it, I'm at it. Just like a savage, I'm blasting this automatic. Cause you know I'm looking for the madness. They call me Mad Hatter, I only get better. I'm like the season, I'm changing it so the range away. My mommy switching positions. You know that I'm itching, my trigger finger wanna be leaving these bodies in ditches. But I just pile up my digits, I stack my riches. And if you got a fucking crime, you gon' hit the witness. Because I put you on a hit list. This the prescription for rap, the what it been needed, so give it back. You don't know my hustle, you don't know my pain. You can judge a cover, you don't know a thing. I've been in this game, yeah, I'm going hard, aiming for the star, cause we going far. You don't know my hustle, you don't know my pain. You can judge a cover, you don't know a thing. I've been in this game, yeah, I'm going hard, aiming for the stars, yeah, we going far. Yeah, 705, this is Nameless.
Welcome back. Once again, that was Judged by the Cover by Nameless705. So now we're going to be moving on to the last segment of the show. The segment's called Do You Remember? If you guys haven't experienced this segment before, essentially what this is that we get a throwback topic to start the discussion from our guest. Today's throwback topic is when street lights turning off meant it's time to go home. I definitely remember those days. You have a memory from
Yeah.
one of those days?
Yeah, I remember lots of times the light coming on and I didn't go home, and then I got in trouble and reminded that when it came on I was supposed to go home. But that was, I just feel like it's I don't know, I feel like it's not like that anymore. You know, I remember being on my bike way too far away from home, being like, oh, we still got lots of time, there's still sunlight in the summertime, and then those lights come on and it was like, oh no, and everybody's racing home because they all know they're going to be grounded, not allowed to come out the next day.
Yeah. This is true facts. I remember when I first moved to Sudbury, I was pretty secluded to only chilling with kids on my street. And yeah, when you would get to the end of the street hanging out and stuff, and those lights would go on, you had to get home before literally anybody would kick your ass. Anybody that would welcome you to your house could have been dad, could have been mom, could have been grandma, could have been
Yeah,
anybody, could have been Uncle
you were good.
Terry. He would have kicked your ass as soon as you got there.
No, it's so true. It's so true. And yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar. I'm originally from Garson, so it was a pretty small community. So we were allowed to go past the end of the street a little bit. So it was even worse when those lights came on, because it was like, oh no, especially if you didn't have your bikes. You're like, I gotta run.
Yeah. No, I grew up in Isilda, and unfortunately, in that town, everybody knows each other. So, like, if I did something wrong, which I did a lot because I was a shitty kid growing up, but
we
my
were.
yeah, everybody would hear about it. Like, if something happened, be like, "Yeah, your kid stole quarters out of my car the other day," or like something stupid, you know?
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I was the when you said I needed a throwback, I was like, that's got to be it. That's it.
Yeah, man, I definitely remember those days. Even like playing basketball and stuff at the end of my street with one of my old friends. It's so crazy too, because like also thinking about how like thinking about these memories and stuff and how my taste in music has like altered so much because I remember playing basketball and listening to System of a Down all the time
Yeah.
with my friend, and yeah, it was during those times and stuff, and now like I still love them, I still listen to them, I still have a great taste for metal, but I find myself more immersed in hip hop, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, me back then, it would have been country back in
Yeah.
the streetlight days, but it is crazy to think back though. It's like I feel like the streetlights coming on, time to go home, and that's like that represents an era, like a different time, something our kids will never know about.
Oh,
And
100%.
not then, we didn't have a phone in our pocket to look at the clock, or most of us, I don't know, I wasn't, if I had a watch, I would have lost it or broke it and wouldn't have had it for long anyway. So
No, I had one of those watches you get out of a Kellogg's box or something, like the
Oh
Tony the
yeah,
Tiger watch or whatever.
yeah, yeah. You were the coolest kid on the block if you had one of those.
All the time, man, all the time.
No, that's good times. I need a simpler time. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like even myself, I don't even remember when I first got a cell phone. And
I
it's
didn't get
not
a cell phone until well into high school.
Yeah, I don't think I think I got a cell phone in like probably like 2010 or 2011 or something like that cuz yeah, my first cell phone was one of those sliding on the side phones. I forgot what the hell they're called. I guess they
Oh,
were called
I had
sliders, right?
yeah. I used to. Mine was the Sony Ericsson. I begged my mom for it because it had the big speaker and I could play music wherever I went.
Yeah, you just slide that bitch open, you got the whole keyboard right there.
Yeah, everybody had those. You could text at like a million miles an hour with your thumbs.
Damn, bro. That got me ready for using the chat and stuff on PlayStation nowadays, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, it's crazy. I we talk about this a lot on the show actually is like seeing the like how 90s kids and like 80s kids and stuff seeing the world like evolve so much around them.
Oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely
Like
crazy.
it's not a joke when they say like we're like the bridge between the old generation and the new generation. We have experienced the life come or like the world coming into its own, like the
Yeah,
birth
like
and the development of the internet. Like
yeah, yeah, like from the days where if you wanted to hang out with your friend, you had to go knock on their door.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, or call them on the cord phone.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this with another guest. What how because we were talking about classic video games, and he was saying like how the video games developed from like people trying to beat each other's high scores to going to your friend's place playing split screen to like no longer
Yeah.
having to go to your friend's place anymore. You guys could just play like at a distance now. Like I play games with people from like fucking Texas and shit like that I've never met in real life, and I don't know if I'll ever meet in real life.
Yeah, yeah. But and I find to be honest, it killed the multiplayer for me. Like I miss that, you kicking your buddy's ass 5 times and he can give you a shot or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something to do and like it kind of brought you together. Now it's like, yo, this weekend we're gonna play a game and you're sitting on your couch and you're all by yourself and you get all excited when you kick your buddy's ass and he's not even there for you to be like, ha.
No, it really takes away from it because like in my teenage years, I grew up going to this. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a trap house because like it was a nice place to go to, but it's where everybody went and got high. So that
Yeah.
like that
By
equivalent of a
definition,
trap
you're
house.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we went and like smoked weed and stuff at our friend's place because his dad didn't give a shit. It was the only place we were allowed to go, and we'd always play NHL all the time. We'd always be playing NHL or zombies, and
Zombies, yeah.
oh yeah. So yeah, we play NHL, and you're so right because it takes like it's cool that you're like connected from overseas and like from like different countries and shit like that. But it really ruins the connection of like in the room and like playing with people because like even where I live, I have a few roommates and stuff, and like I could play games on my Switch or on my PlayStation, and like sure that's fun, but like when we're all in my room and all playing this game together, like Mario Party or something like that, like
Yeah, it's
it's the
so much more
simplest.
rowdy. It's yeah.
Yeah, it's the simplest thing, but it's so much more fun because we're all there connecting, and you could see everybody's joy in their face. Like even if you could hear somebody's voice and stuff, it still doesn't
Yeah.
compare to seeing like that's why they say the most contagious thing's a smile. If somebody's smiling next to you having a great time, you're not going to be a sour bitch in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Me, it was I missed the Guitar Hero days when that first came out. Or was it Rock
Oh,
Band first? That was the shit. You had the drum set, the guitar, and nobody ever wanted to sing, but you always had that one friend that you could kind of coax into it.
yeah. Damn,
No,
dog.
just
I've played the shit out of those games, man.
me and my sister and my brother when I was younger, when I was living with them, I was probably like 13, 14. We actually brought the TV outside and set it up on the table, and we set the drums up on the deck and 2 microphones and the guitar and the bass, and we actually like rocked out for a whole party we threw for a weekend one time. It was like the
Dude.
dopest thing that I've ever done for a party in my life, and everybody just kept taking turns out of the crowd playing, and it was just hilarious. It was nonstop fun. It was, and once you got drunk, you felt like a rock star.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to do the electric slide on the deck because it might hurt you a little.
Oh man. Oh bro, dude, you just reminded me of two friggin' hilarious stories. This one time, so when I grew up, the first one I got introduced to was Guitar Hero 2, and then I worked my way backwards from there, and I played Guitar Hero 1 and stuff. But I remember I had this thick ass carpet in my basement, and I was feeling myself so much, and I was just playing the shit out of Guitar Hero that I went to go power slide, and I actually pulled my knee. Like, whole, bro, I almost fucking dislocated my whole fucking knee, bro. Like, I didn't slide anywhere. I stopped instantly as soon as I hit the ground, and I just went flying forward, bro. And like,
Oh my god.
oh shit, that hurt so much. I remember
Oh
that. Like
yeah.
talking
The
about it,
rug
it's
burn and the dislocation and
oh, dude, it still hurts my knee talking to about it right now. And the other thing I remember is Rock Band. If you talk to anybody I grew up with, I absolutely loved playing Rock Band. And
yeah.
I remember we came to Canada's Wonderland with like my stepdad, my mom, and that's when like Rock Band was super super huge, and they were having this event where you could go and competitively play against other people for a
Yeah, I
day at
remember that.
Canada's Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
So my fucking stepdad, I was like, dude, I want to go play. And he was kind of like ignoring me for most of the time. And then I was like, hey, man, I really want to go play drums. Like, I think I'm really good at it. And I think I could, like, do good. And he's like, listen, we didn't drive all this way and spend all this money for
For you
you
to play a
to,
game.
yeah, for you to play a game that you have at home. You know what I mean? He's like, you can go play Rock Band with your friends when we get home. I'm like, that's not the point. That's like, I want to be on stage and I want to do
Yeah,
this
I want to
so bad.
showcase my skills.
Exactly. And he's like, listen, he's like, if you don't jump up on the behemoth one more time, he's like, we're just leaving. He's like, you're not coming here to play fucking PlayStation. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
No, that's awesome. That's my school did. I actually I went to school in Blind River for a while, and the school there, for one of the things was they were having a rock band competition thing between a couple of the schools in the area, and I was gonna go play it, but I was a bad kid, so I wasn't allowed to participate.
Man, I hate that shit, dude. Totally feel you on that. There's so many things I met because I was a really sporty kid in high school too, and I got kicked off of so many teams for no reason, and like, well, not for no reason because I was a piece of shit, but like for
At
no
the time,
reason
you're
in
like,
my
it was
head.
nothing.
Yeah,
Johnny deserved that punch in the face.
it's true, bro. He totally did.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I felt like I was that one kid in grade school where it was like I was bad for my grade 1 teacher, and so every year that I passed on, they would tell the next teacher and be like, "Yo, he's the one. He's the one." Like, I remember at one point I wasn't even allowed to have a locker. I just had a box in the front of the classroom because the teacher was like, "You're just gonna screw around in your locker and getting caught with cigarettes and stuff."
Oh my god. For me, it was weird, man. In high school, I had like, I don't know, I have a pretty big personality at times, so I feel like a lot of the teachers, not a lot, but I would say half the teachers kind of hated me because I was like a piece of shit and I'd always talk back and stuff. But then the other ones really liked me because I was like really nice with them and stuff.
Yeah,
The thing is though, when I was growing up, is that I had a really hard time with like respect authority kind of thing, because it wasn't like I didn't want to rebel or like fucking go against people and stuff, but I just feel like if you didn't show me respect at all, then why should I show you respect? You don't just automatically get respect because you're a teacher or
I
so
feel
on.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was never afraid of age. I was never like, oh shit, this lady's, my teacher's 40. I gotta bow down to him like he's my leader. I was the same way. And there was a couple teachers that respected that, and because of that, we got along great. But then, like you said, and I always thought it was awful in school too, because they're always like, oh, you don't judge, you don't do this, you don't do that. But then I show up first day in class, and they're like, I know all about you from last year. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're judging me.
yeah,
Stop
exactly.
it.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, they don't have anything to do, and I feel like they're trapped in high school. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for their whole life.
yeah, so they're still gonna gossip and shit just like they did in high school.
Yeah, well, it's kind of those feelings too that Judged by the Cover came from.
Nice. Well, there you go, little teaser, bang. But yeah, I totally feel you on that because like I don't know. It's like we're all a lot of people talk about like equality in different ways and stuff, you know. And the thing is that a lot of people don't realize how shitty they treat kids just because they think kids don't know stuff. And like, yeah, kids are still learning. We're still trying to figure out stuff, but you don't know the circumstance that those kids have grown up in, you know?
Yeah, no, it's so true. You don't know what they're dealing with at home, and then they come to school to be treated like shit from a teacher who has no idea.
Exactly. And I'm not saying by any means I had like a shitty life or anything like that, but like,
But
man,
there
there are
is those that
kids.
do. Yeah.
Exactly, and they're forced to grow up so much quicker, and like they'll still go to those same schools that we went to, and those teachers will still treat them like shit because you know when it comes
Yeah.
down to it, like those some of those teachers like they were bullied in school, so then they come back and they bully kids. Like I had a teacher
Yeah.
like that, and I actually called him out once because he was basically bullying this girl, and I just told him, I'm like, you're really big. I was like, I bet you're the one that got made fun of all the time in high school. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, I could tell. I was like, show me right now your yearbook and tell me you're not the one that got fucking bullied every single day, and now you're just back here
Yeah.
like you know trying to make yourself feel better because like that's fucked, that's absolutely fucked doing shit like that.
It totally is. Totally is. You're, pass on what you've learned so people don't do it, don't repeat it.
A lot of people want to talk about like, oh, you know, the future's really fucked up, or like our future's fucked up, our kids are like fucked up, and it's like, bro, certain people with attitudes like that, that's what's making people fucked up because you have a really happy kid, you have a kid that has a great life, a great home and shit, and they go to school and this one teacher just bringing them down every day because they had a
Mm.
shitty life, you know, they're just imposing their shitty experience on somebody else, you know, like
Yeah, yeah, and on somebody whose mind isn't even fully built yet, so they just eat it up like a sponge. And no, I get that. It's fucked up.
yeah, they don't even understand. They're just like, why is this person who's supposed to be guiding me treating me like this? Maybe this is how I'm supposed to treat other people, and then they get confused and so on and so
Yeah,
forth, man.
no, it's awful.
Yeah. Well, that's what the domino effect is basically, I guess. But yeah, so that was Do You Remember? So now we're getting to the end of the show. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Nameless for joining me. Thank you very much for coming on the show, man.
No, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on here and doing what you do.
No problem. Now we're going to have to get you on a little bit further down the line and see where you're at.
Hey, anytime, man. This was fun hanging out, so anytime.
Definitely was. That's why I love like just an hour of chilling and like even if you're really busy music wise or other things in life, it's cool to just like sit back and chat for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no.
Awesome. We'll tune in next week to the Second Impression podcast and show with me, R.A.P, and our new guest. Good night, everyone.